Hi, thanks for dropping in on this segment of Current Service Information. Today I want to talk about brake system diagnosis, especially the actuation or hydraulics portion. Even with the latest designs, the brake system is probably one of the simplest systems on today's high-tech vehicles. Definitely one of the most important. And because it is so important, a lot of drivers are sensitive to brake system operation and any change in how it works that might signal a problem. That should make you especially sensitive to a customer's concerns too. We need to understand that a brake system is just that, a system. And that requires that we check the entire system and replace only those parts that are needed. For example, take this, a master cylinder. They're often replaced on warranty claims because they're supposed to be defective. But engineering tests on return cylinders show that 7 out of 10 are okay, which means the customer's real problem has not been corrected. And replacing the master cylinder won't solve the problem if it is located elsewhere in the brake system. All this means that if a vehicle is brought to you with a brake problem, you'll want to find its cause before making a repair. That means diagnosis, and your shop manuals provide you with a lot of help. In all body and chassis manuals, you'll find a section on brakes, and you'll find charts which will lead you through, step by step, the diagnosis of almost any brake complaint. There's a chart for miscellaneous conditions, actuation problems, power brakes, brake noise, and wheel brakes. Let's go through the actuation chart quickly so you can see how simple it is. First thing to do, turn the ignition to the start position. If the brake warning light does not come on, turn the ignition to the run position and apply the parking brake. If the warning light stays off, its electrical circuit is malfunctioning. Check and repair it. If the warning light comes on, and when you release the parking brake it goes out, check the wire connected to the brake warning switch located in the engine compartment. If when you turn the ignition on, the warning light comes on, it indicates a system malfunction. The first thing to do is to check the level of the brake fluid. If it's low, you'll want to check the entire brake system for leaks. Repair those you find and replace the lost fluid. If the brake fluid is okay, check the diaphragm for swelling and the fluid for signs of contamination. If you find signs of contaminated brake fluid, it'll more than likely require a major brake system overhaul. See your shop manual for the proper procedures. If the brake light circuit and the brake fluid are okay, the next step is a basic hydraulic test. On power brake vehicles, start the engine and apply pressure to the brakes very slowly. Gradually increase the pedal effort while watching the warning light. Use both feet and press as hard as you can for about 30 seconds. Then release the pedal slowly. Look for one of 4 conditions. 1. If the light comes on after several seconds of heavy pedal pressure, and the pedal moves down under constant heavy effort, there's a small high-pressure leak in the system. Repeat the test a couple of times and look for a wet area under the vehicle that'll tell you where the leak is. 2. If the light comes on with medium to heavy pressure but goes out when you release the pedal, there's air in the brake lines. Bleed the system and replace any lost fluid. The third condition, if the warning light comes on with medium pedal pressure and stays on when the pedal is released, the master cylinder has an internal leak. Replace it and bleed the system. The fourth condition, the warning light doesn't come on and the system is okay. Checking for proper adjustment of the rear brakes might satisfy the customer's concerns. If the car is brand new with less than 1,000 miles, additional mileage might help to break in the linings. And that's a complete diagnosis of a brake actuation problem. We only had to replace the master cylinder in one case, and it is even less likely to be the cause of other kinds of brake problems. The shop manual can even help you determine which of the charts to use. Depending on the symptoms described on your repair order, you can use this basic diagnosis guide to determine which chart to use. Just find the symptom, then find the chart which will help you figure out the cause. Oh, and one more thing. When you have to replace a brake rotor for some reason, remember that the blue protective coating on it is simply a lacquer-based film. You can remove the coating with thinner. That's all it takes. And that'll do it for this month. I hope we've been able to make brake diagnosis and repair a little easier for you. And I hope we can work together again on Chrysler's current service information.
The safety notification detailed in this program involves a condition on affected vehicles in which brake master cylinders could fail due to a crack in the casting. Some cylinders may have been cracked during manufacture. Vehicles affected are 1986 model year Dodge two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive pickup trucks, and Dodge B1, B2, and B3 vans and wagons. To resolve the problem condition, all involved vehicles must be inspected to identify the suspect master cylinders, and these parts must be replaced. Replacement master cylinder and reservoir assemblies, part number 4238197, will not be supplied directly to dealers. They should be ordered from facing depots at dealer cost to replace those which inspection shows are suspect. To begin this service procedure, first inspect the top front surface of the master cylinder casting to identify potentially defective units. If there is a raised T on the casting, the part is good and no further service is required. On the other hand, if there is no T on the casting, the master cylinder must be replaced. To replace the master cylinder, first disconnect the primary and secondary brake tubes from the master cylinder and install plugs in the outlets of the master cylinder. Next, remove the nuts that attach the master cylinder to the power brake unit. Now, remove the master cylinder from the vehicle by sliding it straight out and away from the power brake unit and set it aside for parts return. Follow the special parts return instructions detailed in the Dealer Safety Notification Letter, number 236T of February 1986. These parts must be returned without delay for 100% inspection. As you prepare to install the new brake master cylinder, you may find that it does not have a raised letter T on it. This is not a problem. All replacement parts are crack-free and safe to use. Before installing the new master cylinder and reservoir, it must first be filled and bled on the bench. For a description of this procedure and recommended tools, refer to the section of the 1986 Service Manual on bleeding the master cylinder under Group 5, Brakes. After completing the bleeding operation, install the new master cylinder in the vehicle by positioning it over the power brake unit studs and aligning the power brake push rod with the master cylinder piston. Next, install and tighten the two attaching nuts to 200 inch-pounds or 23 Newton meters. Connect the front and rear brake tubes and tighten them to 170 inch-pounds or 19 Newton meters to complete the procedure. Dealers are urged to service any involved stock vehicles before retail delivery and to contact buyers who are not identified on the vehicle lists to schedule this service without delay. For further information regarding vehicle lists, owners of affected vehicles, and service procedures, refer to the Dealer Safety Notification Letter, number 236T of February 1986.